Suez Canal. Luckily, we got it. So we're back at it. Episode 16. I'm Eric, joined as always by Kayla.
Hello.
Ryan.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
And Mike.
Hey.
All right. So it's been a little while. It's been, a week and a half since we've recorded. So a lot of stuff happened. We're going to get to some of the news that we care about. And then we're going to do a breakdown of what April's going to look like for all the things that we like, as well as what it's going to look like for our podcast. It's the 31st of March. This basically marks the 2-month mark of doing the podcast. And we're rolling right into April. So we're going to get to talking about it. But before that, what's everyone been up to? Ryan, start us off. You haven't been on the pod for a while. What you been up to? What you been playing? What you been watching?
What have I been playing? What haven't I been playing? I've been finished up a whole slew of anime to just finish this season. I've been watching Falcon Winter Soldier, really enjoying that. I've been playing Sekiro. I've been playing Jedi Fallen Order, playing Guild Wars 2, a PC game. Not so much Valheim anymore, since I kind of finished the game for now. And that's really kind of it so far.
Oh, did you beat the 5 bosses or 4 bosses?
Yeah, so it's it's kind of like in a beta state, if you will. And 5 bosses, and then, you gotta wait for the rest of the year for more content updates. So, but it was a fun ride. I knew it was gonna end real quick, so.
So you feel like it's not worth grinding or exploring or anything else once you've kind of beaten those bosses?
You kind of do your grinding from boss to boss in the game, so after you do everything, there isn't much else to get because you've already gotten everything, and nothing else to really kind of see until they add more content to the game.
I feel you.
Yeah. How are you liking Sekiro?
It's fantastic. It's just what I need. Yeah, it's a good blend.
I know a couple of our friends didn't like it. I didn't play it myself, but I really enjoyed watching Eric play it.
I like games that beat your ass, and I like just overcoming that. So that game really is challenging, and most people sometimes get frustrated with it. But I'm not one of those people. I like doing something over and over and over and getting better at it. So
I'm the best cheerleader there is. I always make sure Eric breathes, takes a deep breath.
I need it. I played all of the Soulsborne games aside from Demon Souls, and I couldn't have done it without Kayla, definitely. So what have you been up to, Kayla?
Still watching Modern Family. We started Breath of the Wild.
Oh.
Go.
I can't really think of anything else that we've been doing. I've been so immersed in just watching Modern Family or playing Breath of the Wild.
So the ending of Ratchet and Clank,
I finished Ratchet and Clank. Yes, I forgot. So, yes, I did finish Ratchet and Clank. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, once you set the difficulty down to casual, you were just blowing through that thing.
I don't know why it was so hard on normal for me. It was so hard.
I mean,
I just never had health and never had ammo and couldn't get any further.
It did seem like a completely different experience from one difficulty setting to the other.
I loved the puzzles in it. The Clank puzzles were fun, but the laser puzzles that you had to line up, those are really fun.
How about you, Mike?
Oh man, playing a lot of Monster Hunter Rise. That came out Friday. Then playing that's on Switch, and I just downloaded on Game Pass a couple things right before the recording, actually. Narita Boy and Genesis Noir, and they're both two of the most coolish, stylish games visually I've ever seen so far. I've only played each of them for 10 minutes each, but excited to check both of those out. Maybe I'll talk more about it on a different pod.
How is Monster Hunter running on the Switch?
Pretty good. Yeah, it's not as pretty as World or anything, but it looks pretty good. The changes they've made to it are great. You could they've added mounts that you can one, Palamute, like a dog, and just speeds up the game so much faster. The game is it's a lot of grindy. You're just fighting these monsters, getting parts off of them when you either kill or capture them, building new armor, building new weapons, and these fights take a little while. So like as you're fighting it, a monster will get tired and try to run away from you, and that would be kind of a pain. Like you'd have to chase after them. But now when you're on your Palamute, you can basically almost just catch up to them right away and just keep beating their ass. And it's yeah.
You've just been playing solo, right? You haven't played any like the co-op stuff?
I haven't tried the multiplayer yet. From what I've heard, it's better than Worlds was. World was really confusing about if you wanted to co-op, like join up with somebody, they'd have to see like a certain cutscene that you've seen within the story. I don't think this game has that restriction at all. So hopefully it's a smoother thing than World was.
I've been watching a lot of my guildies play my Discord server, play that, and it looks great multiplayer, man. It looks like a load of fun if you're, into that kind of experience.
I am.
Yeah, I'm so glad Kayla did not, say one thing that we did check out. The Snyder Cut. We finally finished the 4-hour epic Zack Snyder's Justice League. So
I have to leave some things for you to say.
Thank you so much for that.
Sweet.
That movie,
I only have one question. Did they fix Henry Cavill's mouth?
Yeah, I think so. I think they reshot or whatever. I think the mouth thing must have been in the original reshoots or something, because I was looking for it. It was real fucking terrible.
I think that happened. Yeah, like they shot Justice League, and then he started doing Mission Impossible, and then they were like, "Fuck, we gotta change the story and do a different Justice League. So come back." And he was like, "Nah, too bad. I got this sick stash."
Yeah, I remember that.
So this, I think, is more of original stuff.
Because they wouldn't let him shave. Like, they wouldn't let him do it. Yes, definitely. It was like Universal or something. Yeah, there you go. Must have been Tom Cruise be like, "No, you can't shave your stash." And, good time.
I mean, spoilers, he's kind of a bad guy for a point, so I feel like the stash should have just been there. Like, I like Superman with, like, a bad stash. I'd be into that.
Terrible.
But that was a lot of fun. It's 4 hours and it's too much. It's like 4 hours.
There's a lot of stuff that does not need to be in there.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch it all at once?
No, 2 parts.
Okay.
We did like 2-hour settings.
And it does make it hard too, because you feel like, oh, I don't need to see this because I already know that, but I already know that because it was in the first one. I don't know what to call it. Like.
Yeah, it's a weird experience watching the same movie twice in a sense, but like with an extra hour of content or hour and a half or whatever else. It's a weird experience, and it's a weird experience in the sense that like it sets up so many little threads here and there that who knows if it's going anywhere. Zack Snyder has said like, no, like, I'm done, whatever, I'm doing different things or whatever, so we'll see. We'll see if they, like, tie up all the things, because, like, there's a good hour of stuff in there that's just setting up other, like, the DCU or whatever that, at this point, is not a thing. So.
Yeah, I watched it all the way through, and I liked it. I think more than the OG with Mr. first director's name getting a lot of flack right now.
Oh, Joss Whedon?
Mr. Whedon, that's right. I liked it more than Whedon's cut, but I will tell you, Snyder really likes his slow-mo, doesn't he? Like,
yeah.
You got Flash in there. You gotta give him 24 minutes of movie time.
I know, but it's just interesting how they did him compared to, like, how, let's just say, Quicksilver was handled and how they dealt with his super speed, which is 2 different ways of doing it, interestingly enough. But more to touch on that, I would love more, but unfortunately the media spokesperson came out and said, yeah, no, there's going to be no more Snyder in any of our stuff. So
He said the same thing about the Snyder cut.
It's true.
I don't believe that this is
Yeah.
over at all. There's enough angry people on the internet to make this happen.
Yeah.
That's why the Snyder cut was released in the first place. There's so much goodwill towards this movie. I think there will be a Justice League 2 or 3 or whatever.
Yeah, I hope Mike's right. I hope it made lots of money for everyone involved and stuff, because I feel like there's a lot there. Some of those characters I'm more interested now with this, like actually them building them out. So, because in the first one, it's just you're just, oh, Cyborg, okay, yeah, sure, that's a guy, whatever. But like they give him a full story or something.
Which you
close
didn't need
a
to
full
do in
story.
Justice League. That shouldn't have been how you handled a multi-cast crew.
Yeah,
Does
it's a lot.
Does he still say booyah?
I don't think he does. I don't think he says that.
no, he doesn't. I don't think he does.
I don't know. I think he's just mostly a sad boy.
He's a sad boy.
Yeah. But, so, yeah, Snyder Cut.
And
That was that.
Ryan mentioned Falcon Winter Soldier. We watched both of those episodes that have come out.
That's right. I think we're all caught up, right? You're caught up, right, Mike?
Yeah. Yep.
I didn't think you were even going to watch it.
I did, and man, Marvel's good. You know.
Oh! I was
Crazy.
wondering.
Yeah.
I was wondering.
I was
I've
way
liked
off
it.
on this show. I like it a lot so far.
Wow! I'm
I love
happy.
I think I might like it more than WandaVision right now. Maybe because they're giving you a little more to chew on, because there's 6 episodes, so they're about 40, 45 minutes each, because I felt like Wanda could have went on just a little bit longer each episode, just to give you a little bit more. Overall, Wanda was great, but every episode didn't feel completely satisfying for me, as these episodes feel like you're pretty much getting quarters of a movie almost. We're already 90 minutes in, and you're almost done with the movie, and they're gonna add some more onto that.
Have these episodes been longer? I haven't kept track.
They felt, I've at least felt that way, a little longer. And I do know that the third episode, it's come out that it's going to be the longest of the 3 so far.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was a leak or something. So I that might mean 3 minutes longer or something like that, But I do feel like they felt a little longer.
Sebastian Stan, man, what a
So
what a
good,
dude.
so good. I
You
stand
mean Luke
him all
Skywalker?
day.
Make him Luke Skywalker, man.
He's
He
the
should be
best.
Luke Skywalker. He should have been the
it's
fucking
just
Luke
crazy.
Skywalker at the end of Mandalorian instead of CG. But
My girlfriend's not really into Marvel stuff, but when I mentioned that this is coming out, she saw Sebastian Stan, and I was like, oh, okay. I see your priority.
Oh, so you're saying she's a Sebastian
Stan, yes.
Stan.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm bringing that back at some other point, too. So let's get to the news, folks. Let's get to the news. I know you've got a lot of feelings about this, Ryan. Microsoft seems to be a little down the road on buying Discord, which just so happens to be our part of our recording platform. It's what we use to capture a lot of this podcast. So how are you feeling?
Not so good. I hate Microsoft because whatever they purchase, they always ruin, and they always try to monetize it really poorly and implement it. The only benefit I could see them using it is actually implementing it into, Xbox. That would be a huge game changer in a big way if they, kind of integrate in the system, kind of make cross-platform, which they're already kind of started doing. I'm unsure if they're going to actually be able to buy it, because, I've been hearing a lot back and forth about, they put up another offer. They're going bigger. They really want it. And Discord, if they were smart, they wouldn't sell, because you're going to get people like Steam. You're going to get people like Apple. You can go public with the company and see where that takes you. I think it's a bad bad idea for them to take the first bite at the big pie, so to speak, instead of just waiting to see what else they can get. Or maybe they have their own vision and they don't want to do. I mean, it's literally the biggest platform for gaming, entertainment, everything right now, So like maybe they just want to kind of. I think they're doing a great job with the platform, what they're doing now, and how they monetize it. I think it's really smart. If they give to Microsoft, I think it's a disaster waiting to happen. But it's a lot of money. Money talks, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you touched on them adding it to like Xbox. I think that would be ideal, having some kind of platform like that.
To be the plan, like.
Yeah, I hope so. I don't know how you would, if you do integrate it with Xbox, how do you then monetize it? I guess if you don't have an Xbox or you're not playing on an Xbox or a PC platform, then you have to pay for Discord. I mean, how would they, I guess, change that? I don't exactly know how that would go down.
Got it. Not bring it all into Game Pass and all that, and
not sure. It'd be hard. It does so much right in terms of just games and how it's set up for games. Because if you ever played a PC game, for example, you could always, it always displays, hey, you can always change it, but like you can always change, like the implementation of like you can watch someone play a game and they can go live and you can watch their feed. There's a lot of just real great third-party software they put into it. You can see what people are playing. It's a great application that's taken off and pretty much destroyed any other competition right now. So if they were to make the deal, that's huge. Sony would have something hard time, trying to upend that one.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to watch, and then whoever gets it, I mean, like you said, it could easily be a bidding war. I think everyone, all the major companies could benefit from getting into that, from absorbing Discord, and be interested to see whoever does grab it, what they do with it.
The last thing I will say about it is I hope they don't. I hope they just stick to their guns and keep on making the better platform they've been doing for the past, 5, years. It's just been phenomenal. So that's what I want them to do personally. But, $10 million plus is a lot of money. So, anyways.
Yeah, I don't know. I like what we got with our Discord. So we also had some casting news. Speaking of old Disney and Marvel and all that, we have some Obi-Wan Star Wars series casting news. The biggest of which is they've made it official that Hayden Christianson is back as Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader, whatever, at all. How are you guys feeling? Mike, you can start it off. What do you think about Hayden getting another crack at it?
Oh, redemption, man! Why not? From what I've heard, his performance in those prequels, which I think is he's the worst part of Star Wars. I'll say that was basically because of George Lucas's lack of direction, and these shows and seem to be in a good place as far as who's running them now, and I think if he's hungry and he wants to get back into acting after like the internet kind of seemed to force him out of it, maybe. Give him a shot. This cast is stacked. It looks really good.
Yeah. There's some heavy hitters in there. Kumail is in there, and obviously Obi-Wan is going to be reprised, or Ewan McGregor will be reprising his role as Obi-Wan, which most people kind of consider him the best part of the prequels.
I thought you could see Alec Guinness there for a second there.
Yeah, they're getting him too. I heard a cameo. Yeah, he's about 120 now, I think. But
no, they're just gonna CGI him in. That's what they can do with all.
They love that shit.
Man, I could see that. Kayla, I know, you are kind of a Hayden Christensen defender, right?
Girl.
So you're pretty excited, right?
I am excited. I'll temper my excitement, of course, but I agree with Mike. Like, the way that these shows have been going lately have been very entertaining. So I think the acting in basically all the Star Wars, all of it sucks. If we're asking acting, none of it's very like good acting. So I give that benefit to Hayden Christianson in it. I mean, there's no Natalie Portman throughout everything, but I enjoyed Anakin in the prequels very much so. So I'm really excited to see him get another crack at it.
Yeah, I was reading a real good article about how much of the scenes with Natalie Portman and Hayden Christensen were just like CGI green screen kind of things, talking to nothing, just having to really and bad dialogue, obviously. Like,
who's young and
yeah. So a lot of factors. I mean, what is your take on the prequels, Ryan? I don't know if I've ever asked you specifically.
It's a love-hate situation. I love Revenge of the Sith. I liked Attack of the Clones. I didn't like Phantom Menace as much. It's probably the weakest one in my personal opinion. I think they're fun. The first one definitely suffers from George's poor writing quite a bit. The other two, I think they're just as good, if not almost just, is the prequels. The original.
I'm a fan of the prequels over the originals. I like the originals. They're not bad, but they're not, just definitely. I grew up watching, when they came out. That's what we did around Christmas and Thanksgiving. We went to the movie theaters to watch them, so they have a little nostalgia soft spot for me too.
Talking on the Hayden Christian part, he was young, inexperienced actor, one of his bigger roles, intimidating, and I love George, but I also hate George because I know just hearing actors talk about him and his direction was never the greatest when it came to acting, and he was just new, huge, a lot of ambition there, but also, ambition can be faltered by direction and also dialogue and writing. And the work he's done, like Jumper, I love Jumper. I saw that in theaters. Yeah. That was great. Yeah. It was really good. And he did a lot better in that film, which was also a Samuel film as well. I thought it was good. So I'm curious to see this redemption. I'm kind of combing my expectations down a bit.
How much do we think he's gonna be in it?
I don't know. I don't remember when this timeline's supposed to be.
Well, it's in between 3 and 4. It's in between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope.
Obi-Wan just hanging out on Tatooine watching over Luke, right?
I think it's going to be another Mando situation, personally. Mando and Baby Yoda, Tiger and Cub or whatever is called.
But Obi-Wan and Luke never come in contact with each other.
So what maybe Obi-Wan wanted him to know? Maybe he never really... Maybe he's just behind the scenes, just shadows, protecting them. Who knows?
Maybe it's just his voice, Anakin's.
Yeah.
That would be fun
Memories.
to, I don't know if they've casted a Luke or if they've talked about that, but I think there could be some fun to be had. For more of a comic standpoint of, Luke getting into some shit and Obi-Wan, having to, secretly get him out of, whatever, Star Warsy shit.
I would love it, but I don't think they'd do it. I would love more, we're talking about Sebastian Stan, about being Luke. I would love that to happen. After Jedi, just have him cast in that role and do that. But I think the fans would have a fit over that. At least
they had their chance and they didn't do it. I don't think it can. It's CG from here out with them. So? They haven't recasted anyone. They want it to be this fucking computer bullshit on the screen that just takes you out of the whole experience, personally.
Yeah, I think until further notice, Mike's right. I mean, that's what it's been. They've had their chance, like he said, and went the CG route. But I would hope that they could. I mean, because it's too perfect. Sebastian Stan, he's already in the Disney fucking
family.
The family, yeah.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, I don't need any more Skywalker stories.
Same.
When quarantine started, when we got shut down, I actually read 10 Star Wars books starting at the beginning, and I want to see some of that.
That's good.
Yeah, that was a lot of Old Republic kind of stuff that you were reading, right? Yeah.
A lot of story to tell. If anything, Luke would just show up.
There's a lot of information.
In big moments, because we've already had that tale for 9 whole, movies. We
Right.
don't need any more,
Right.
really. Until he gives back Baby Yoda, then whatever. But
We're getting at least one more with Obi-Wan. But speaking of kind of epic fantasy stories, George R.R. Martin signed a $10 million deal with HBO to not write any more books, I think. And
Yeah.
I don't know what this is. I don't know why this guy... People keep giving this guy money to
I have
just...
no idea.
to not do things. Like, what is going on? What do you think George R.R. Martin's gonna do for HBO, Ryan?
honestly, I couldn't tell you, man. They just need to let him write his fucking book and like before he dies. You know, he's getting up there. You know, this will feel like the longest hiatus ever for the Winds of Winter book, and they just kept on taking. Oh no, we got another HBO series coming out. We need you back.
We're gonna do this project instead.
Another
Yeah.
project.
And at the same time, they announced a stage play too in the Game of Thrones universe. It's going to be like a Broadway.
Yeah,
play.
I saw that.
Is that all we know about it?
That's
Is there any
it. They
details?
said there's going to be characters from.
I know that Ned Stark's gonna be in it.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's based on a specific event, some kind of tournament or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Literally the terminate. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The thing that started the initial Civil War, then, like just before the
yeah, I have no
events. Yeah, okay, that's fine because that hasn't been done.
We're talking about like the Rhaegar when he gives what's her face the roses and there's a prophecy and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he steals Lyanna from her betrothed or whatever. You know, it's kind of what sets up the whatever
Gotcha.
all the stuff, all the pre Game of Thrones stuff.
I could see that being a play. It kind of works, you know, already in a Coliseum sort of thing, I'd imagine, or whatever.
Is that like Mike? I guess I'll ask you, but like, do you have any interest in going back into that world?
I don't at all. I guess if he's got that name has cachet, and if that name is put on the front of something, people will watch it or go buy a ticket to go see it or play a game. I was doing a little research before this. He has so many projects, that he's spinning different places between games and now Broadway or whatever, if he's involved in that. And
he's got both hands in the cookie jar, man.
And did you guys? I thought this was funny. I always thought he was British.
No.
Oh yeah, he's like from New Jersey or something, right?
Yeah. Just thought he was like. He looks like he'd be like a hermit in like a rainy city in England or something.
He's in Arizona, Santa Fe, I believe.
Oh, nice. Yeah, he went to college in Illinois, I believe.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
Yeah, he's done a lot of work.
Yeah, I enjoyed Game of Thrones. I watched it all. Didn't enjoy the final season at all very much. But yeah, I guess fill in the past. I have no interest in it personally.
Yeah, I feel like you're far from the only one. I mean, I loved it as well. Hated the final season. I feel like everyone, if you ask them, hey, did you like Game of Thrones? It's either, oh, I didn't watch it, or I watched it, and I hated the final season. I don't think I've heard a single person say, like, yeah, man, start to finish, it was great. They wrapped it up nice, and I'm excited to see, like, whatever else is coming. It seems like it came and it went, and it's not a thing that people are like talking about.
In the height of it, when you talked about like spin-offs, I was probably pretty excited. Like, oh yeah, I'd want to see this event that they always talk about. Like, sure, like let me see that. But now I don't know how I feel. I don't know.
Because they're doing that prequel for like the Targaryens. They're talking like the Dunk and Egg story, I believe, right? Is that what they're doing?
They're doing multiple things. Like, I think there's a Targaryen thing.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, and then, I think there's other, like Nelson said, a bunch of other projects or whatever, so I think they're doing it.
Naomi Watts pilot that got shot and canceled, probably never see the light of day.
They're just trying to milk it, because that show brought so much for that platform that, it makes sense for them to try to get whatever else they can out of it.
Yeah,
It's hard to strike gold twice, though. So
Right.
I don't know. They better get on it because I feel like it's just every day further from Game of Thrones being like the height of its popularity. It's becoming less and less like relevant.
yeah, you're right. It's kind of like out of people's minds already. You know, it's a done and done. Got that bad rap for the last season, and now we'll see what happens. Now we got a stage play, so hey, maybe it'll be great.
I think by the time any of this stuff comes out, like there'll be so much more. Like Amazon has their Lord of the Rings show that could be out by then. There's just so much like high fantasy type stuff out there now. I don't think it'll be able to rise above any of this stuff. It'll probably just be lost in the shuffle, I would think.
I agree with you because that's going to be lost even more as soon as they start talking about the Lord of the Rings series. Amazon, they put a lot of money into that. So that's their baby. I feel like, yeah. Just to acquire it, let alone film it. So I'm really curious to see what they're going to do with that one and who's going to be doing it.
Well, speaking of long-awaited things, we finally got a release date on Rick and Morty, season 5. We got a trailer as well. So it's going to release on June 12th. I know, Kayla, you said you didn't get a chance to check out the trailer, but you did, Mike, right?
Yeah, I did. Maybe I'm the best one. I don't think I finished season 4 because they cut it in 2. They released it in 2 different times.
Yeah.
So watching this, it didn't seem like there was anything like, I know there's like a overall big story to Rick and Morty, you know, big in quotes, but it looked good, like fun. Looked like there was like an episode like a Voltron. They're all in different colored lion suits and stuff, and but other than that, yeah, more Rick and Morty. Fine. I need to catch up, I guess.
Do you like Rick and Morty, Ryan?
Not a fan.
Not a fan?
You know, I know it holds a giant significance in a lot of people's hearts, and I know the show is wildly popular. I gave it a chance a couple times, but it just wasn't my thing.
I feel you. I love how much like subtle heart that show has, like just the weird existential stuff that it gets into that you don't see coming because it's like 95% just ridiculous kind of vulgar shit, and then like 5% just hit you in the stomach.
I like that it can just be anything. They can do anything in that show, and for the most, I really enjoyed those first few seasons. The 4th one didn't seem as good as quality. Maybe
super short. I feel like there were very few episodes, and because it was disjointed and like cut in 2, real weird. Because I remember after season 3, Justin Roiland, the guy the creator or whatever, I think he signed like a 50 episode contract or something with Adult Swim, and it was like, oh sweet, they're gonna be releasing big seasons, 20 episode seasons or something. And I was like, there might have been like 8 or something, split into 2 4s. You know, so I don't know if they've announced anything.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was forever ago.
Shows aren't easy to make. I know Doc Hammer, one of the creators of Venture Brothers, would always, like, people would complain, like, their season, it'd be maybe sometimes 2 years in between seasons, and just say, like, yeah, it takes a long time to do this. Like, it's a lot of work. So maybe that's the reason, but this seems pretty quick. I didn't think we'd be getting it.
Yeah, they must have already put in a lot of work before announcing anything, which I think is a smart thing to do, especially with just the pushback of 2020.
Yeah, I'm excited we're getting it this year, definitely.
Yeah.
So, speaking of this year, or I guess this month, we're going to get into April. Everything that's coming up in April. One of these is actually today, March 31st. Godzilla vs. Kong, coming to theaters and HBO Max. Ryan wore his best Godzilla shirt. What's your hype level for this, Ryan?
I'm really hyped. I'm great. I love it. It's going to be so much fun.
You said you're watching it tonight, right?
I'm going to watch it tonight, yeah. I looked at a lot of the reviews, and it makes me laugh because you have some real hard-ass kind of critics trying to go hard on it. It's like, dude, you know what kind of movie you're getting into. You know what it's going to be about. You know the acting's going to be garbage. You know you're not going in for the plot. You're going in for 2 big-ass monsters fighting each other. and just having a fun time. It's one of those blockbuster films that you'd enjoy in the summer and one and done. So I'm real excited.
I think I've already asked you this, Mike, but it's a thing I do, is ask things multiple times. Have you seen King of the Monsters, right? The second Godzilla movie?
No, I didn't. You haven't seen that before, but no, I heard that was a trash fire kind of movie. That first Godzilla, the reboot of Godzilla that's a part of this trilogy or quadrilogy, whatever you want to call it.
The Monster
Universe. Yeah. That thing just has so much of people in it talking about stupid shit and not enough monster fighting. So hopefully this is a better blend of just give me the ape. I want some Kong. I want to see him whip Godzilla's ass. I'm excited. I'm going to have a Kong versus Godzilla tonight, and I'm going to be playing fighting monsters while they're fighting each other too on the Switch.
Man.
So
You got a theme.
Pretty
Nice. Yeah, I know in the pre-show we talked a lot about Kong Dong, so you think we're getting some in this one?
I think he's going to whip it out.
Okay.
hope
I think he's going to be a big measuring contest for him and Godzilla.
Oh, so moving right along to tomorrow, April 1st, Outriders. It's coming out to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series, and also PC. The interesting thing about this game is it's coming to Game Pass. So anyone with Xbox Game Pass is getting this for free, in quotes. It's a Square Enix game, very much looks like a Destiny type cooperative RPG shooter. Any interest level in this one, Mike?
I might check it out just because if it wasn't on Game Pass, no, zero. But I have it. I might as well check it out. I'm excited to see. I know the beta people were kind of lukewarm on. So if word of mouth is good on it on the 1.0 release, then yeah, I'll definitely check it out. Maybe play it with you.
Hey. I know you're not really a shooter guy, Ryan, but have you checked out Outriders at all? Any of the trailers or anything?
Yeah, it looks fun. I mean, they kind of sold me a little bit. I might check it out. We'll see, of course, first impressions and then other people's opinions about it first before I really get into it. But it looks like it'd be a fun game. Nothing I'll probably hold on to, but definitely fun.
Right. Do we know if it's a long game?
I think it's just going to be a continual game, probably something that'll just keep going. Right. As long as there's a fan base, as long as enough people are playing it. But usually games that get to come to Game Pass or like PlayStation Plus for free kind of do, at least initially, get a big boost of fandom or whatever.
Players.
Yeah, player count early.
It's a nice thing that Game Pass does.
Yeah, exactly. So this has a chance, at least initially, it's going to have some high player counts, most likely, and it's going to have a chance to catch on, get a following if it can make a name for itself.
There's just so many of these kind of things, like Deep Rock Galactic, Vermintide, Warzone. I don't know. I'd rather play any of those three than this, but some of those aren't free, free in quotes as well. So yeah, I'll probably check it out.
Yeah, nothing I've seen has said, "Oh, this is completely different. This is a completely new experience, completely different than Destiny or something like that." So
yeah, not for me.
Yeah, Destiny as well, of course. That's one of the big ones. So
on to April 6th, we have Oddworld Soulstorm. That's coming to PS4, PS5, and PC. An interesting thing about this one is it's also going to be free for PS5 owners if they have PS Plus. Kind of interesting decision, I guess, to do that on a platform that not a lot of people can own at this point. Interesting to not also make that PS4 free, in quotes again.
Yeah.
But I know you're kind of hyped about this one, right, Kayla? You played a lot of the originals.
I did. I do want to play it, but unfortunately, it's on the bottom of my games that I want to play right now.
Yeah, if only Breath of the Wild wasn't 50 hours at least.
We got a lot of games ahead of this one, so I want to check it out just to see. I don't know if it's something that I'll finish. I'll definitely have to put that one on easy, I think.
This would probably be like a more bite-sized kind of experience, I would think.
I think so. I don't think this one's going to be a 30-hour plus game or anything like that.
I would hope not. I've never played in the old PS1 Oddworlds. The first original Xbox game I ever played was Munch's Odyssey on at a GameStop kiosk. And I just remember the first time holding the Duke, the big old giant Xbox controller.
So let me stop you. The Duke is the Xbox controller, not you were holding in a Duke, right?
Both, maybe.
Okay.
A long time ago, 2001. So, yeah, I just remembered holding that controller, and this is my first time playing one of these games. I remember seeing commercials for the Oddworld stuff back in the day, and just couldn't figure out how to do anything in it. This one does. I like Lorne Lanning. He's the guy who's like behind these games for all these years. He's a crazy kind of guy, but just the style of gameplay and stuff doesn't grab me.
I think I played the original.
That's actually the only one I've played, the original.
And that is a hard game, but it's so cool the things they were doing.
It's very puzzly and platformy.
Yeah, just like the 2.5D kind of stuff that they were playing with. Puzzles that were you just bang your head against, and even like the art style was pretty cool.
It was like a flagship series for Sony back in the 90s. It was a
big deal for sure. I remember that being out. I'll probably get it. I got a laundry list of games to get through first, but looks like it'd be fun for a good 20-30 hours at least. I'm big on puzzle games, so I'll give it a go. I love the aesthetic. The look is just very unique and different and stands out compared to everything else.
Yeah.
That's what has stood out to me. I'm not a huge platformer guy, but I think it looks really cool. Kind of looks brutal as well. Like there's some I don't know, Super Meat Boy-esque things.
It's very very meaty and gory.
Well, yeah, it's like a whole Soylent Green type thing, sort of green people kind of thing in that game, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's the general idea. So on April 9th, I just added this to the script a little. It's called Them. It's an anthology horror series on Amazon Prime. I just found out about this, a couple days ago, but it looks really interesting. Set in the 50s. It's like a African American cast led type horror anthology series dealing with obviously the horrors of being a black person in the 50s. And also actual horrors. So me and Kayla both really enjoyed Lovecraft Country recently, and this kind of has similar vibes.
I would explain that the same way you just explained this.
Right, yeah. It looks like it's kind of going
without
for
the 50s,
a same aesthetic. And I got some vibes of Us as well.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, so even the name, Them, and stuff, I feel like...
it's very obvious that it's going to be in that same vein.
One of the younger actresses was in Us.
I think you're right. I think you told me that.
Yeah.
You're right, yeah, it's the little girl from Us is also in this, and she was really good. I really liked Us quite a bit. I thought everyone was real good in Us, so yeah, if this plays on any of those same kind of things, I'm super into it, and it's coming to Prime, so I like that. And it's also billed as an anthology series, so it's going to be something akin to, or they're trying to make it something akin to American Horror Story or what have you, where they can continue with different stories with the same cast and that type of thing. Hopefully it's successful. I want more horror television as well, so yeah, I'm down for it.
Spooky racism. Give it to us.
Oh man. Have any of you guys checked out Lovecraft Country at all? Ryan or Mike?
I haven't. That's on HBO? What is
it?
That?
Is. Yeah.
Okay, I haven't watched it yet. I'd like to check it out.
Man, it's good. I feel like if you like the first 2 episodes, if you get what they're doing, like keep going because it's just
It's
kinda,
wacky.
yeah.
HP
Be prepared
Lovecraft.
for wacky stuff.
Yeah.
I'll make a deal with you, Eric.
Oh boy,
Okay, you ready for a deal?
maybe.
All right, I'll watch Lovecraft County or Country or whatever.
Okay,
But you got to watch Succession. You got to watch it.
I do. That's a good deal. Okay. Well, you have to answer a question for me. Have you seen Godzilla King of the Monsters yet? Check
Yeah,
that out. Okay, Succession. I'm gonna check out Succession. And the next thing in Succession on our list is the New Mutants. It was just announced that the New Mutants is coming to HBO
Bravo.
Max. Oh, I know. I'm the king of the transitions, baby. So, there was a lot of speculation on where this movie was going to land. So it's April 10th. I don't think I said that. Because technically this movie is owned by Disney now. It came to them as part of the Sony purchase. And this movie was in purgatory for a long time.
These people are already 10 years older, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. When I saw the
released in
trailer
the-
in high school, I was really like, fuck.
I remember us, seeing the trailer in high school, I think, like 20 years ago, and thinking like, oh man, cool, it's an X-Men horror movie, like, let's get this bread, and then we said that, it was weird, it was high school, so we said weird stuff like that, but, pushback, till finally they released it at the height of the pandemic, like 3 people saw it, critically kind of panned.
Those 3 people did not like it.
Right. But I'm gonna give it a shot. Because I've got HBO, and I think the concept, there's something there, even though they're not gonna go anywhere with it because it's just a dead property at this point.
I felt so bad for that film. Disney just set it up for failure from the beginning when they released it in theaters at that one. I think it was like back in August or something like that.
What were they supposed to do?
They could have waited. They could have just waited and advertised a little more.
What?
Could have just put it on HBO Max?
Yeah,
people knew about it.
They could have put it on Disney Plus. Yeah, I don't know what that time.
Or whatever, yeah.
They kind of just, they didn't have to release it at all. I'm shocked that they did.
Yeah.
Like it had, like, it has nothing to do with their plans for X-Men or whatever they want to do. And
fully separate
they
film.
probably knew it's probably not a good movie. I'm going to just go with the consensus on that. I want to watch it. I'm definitely going to check it out because I really like X-Men. And after watching Queen's Gambit last year, I like that actress. Her name escapes me right now.
Anya
But,
Taylor-Joy.
Taylor-Joy.
Yes,
I want to watch that.
And yeah, hey, maybe it'll do well on HBO Max.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm at least interested to see if it has anything at all, worth checking out. Even like the worst kind of X-Men movies, like some of those Wolverine movies and stuff, were somewhat like entertaining. It's like, oh, cool, it's a superhero movie that I can watch for an hour and a half, and this one has the added bonus of being like spooky, which they haven't really done. So I'm into that.
No, like a lot of the actors that are in it. A lot of new actors I've never seen before, so hopefully it holds up. I heard mixed reviews about it.
Macy
Loving
Williams.
it. Yeah, Macy Williams. The actor was
Dude from
in
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of cool people in it.
Yeah. We'll see what that looks like on April 10th. We're moving right along to 420.
Nice.
Yeah. So on 420,
Weed.
my favorite game every single year, MLB The Show. 21, MLB The Show 21 comes out on 420. But this year, it comes out on Xbox as well as PlayStation. It's been a PlayStation exclusive for 15 years, I think, the series has been going on. Something like that.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Oh, shit,
It's been a while. And they progressively, it's one of my favorite series of all time. I think it made my top 10 or top 5 maybe when we did those. I think it did.
Yeah.
just love the series, and really excited to play it on my Xbox, which is weird to say because it's a Sony published game. It's through one of their studios, San Diego, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
And just it's great every year. The trailer just dropped. It's super cool. It's like a Legends trailer. They show Babe Ruth and stuff like that. Because they're really hyping up all these other modes that they're doing. They're doing
Mark McGuire?
Yeah, he's there. It's weird. He's just in the back, and he's like, "Hey, someone poke me in the ass, like with the steroids." It's weird.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a weird part.
I'm really hyped for this game, Mike, as well. I see it.
I've never played any of these. I'm excited for the team because it's all the like sports games, wrestling games. These teams that they got to put something out year after year. It seems like they do a better job than anyone, even like the
so much fans
or anything or 2K,
FIFA, sells like hotcakes.
And it's not just, it's going to be on other platforms now. More people are going to be able to play it. Like, and Xbox owners haven't had a baseball game in a long fucking time. Like they had that like RBI baseball remake a few years ago, and I think
who's the studio that makes that, Eric?
It's Sony San Diego, I believe.
Really?
So it's pretty wild because it's a Sony made game. It's been an exclusive on PlayStation for something like 15 years. And I was actually a little kind of hesitant when I heard this. I was like, man, that's weird, you know? Like it has been when you say like, oh, what's the draw to the PlayStation? Well, they have all these exclusives, and I always put this in the same realm as when I talk about like, oh, why I play PlayStation, Bloodborne and Uncharted and Last of Us and MLB The Show. Those are my like PlayStation games, and but like Mike was saying though, like it's gonna open it up to new audiences, and
great,
and they deserve it. Like it's really good. I've played Madden, I've played like the NBA 2K stuff. I like sports games, but I think the show kind of blows them all out of the water. Every year after year, they do like minor tweaks that don't ruin it, and I think that's really important.
You know what else is happening in 420? A real big thing you missed out on. It's the 20th anniversary of Shrek. Am I right?
Oh shit!
A little green for some of the big green. You know what I'm trying to say?
Wow.
Yep.
Make that movie enjoyable.
We're really excited.
I'd try that. That'd be a fun day.
The Big Green? That came out more than 20 years ago?
Shrek, man. You know, a big green, a little green, you know what I'm saying?
Oh.
But,
we're talking about the soccer movie.
Okay, so we're gonna do a double feature on 420, and we're gonna live stream it, right? We're gonna the Big Green, Shrek, and the Little Green. I think it's
love it.
Gonna need a lot of green for all those green movies, if you know what I mean, to get through those. Gonna need it.
And in the morning, I'm making waffles. So.
All right.
That's a line from Shrek. April 23rd, I put this one on Shadow and Bone on Netflix. This is a series based on a novel from 2012. It's actually a series of novels. It sounds kind of cool. It's kind of in that young adult fiction realm, your Hunger Games kind of realm and stuff, but it's high fantasy set in kind of an alternate Russia. The name escapes me, but who cares? It's some kind of fantasy version of Russia in the late 1800s. Essentially, that's. I don't know if it necessarily. I don't think it takes place in our world. It's a fantasy world, but it's what it's modeled after. And there's essentially a darkness where monsters exist, and that's kind of enveloping the world. So it seems like it has vibes of like The Never-Ending Story or like Annihilation came to mind, but in a high fantasy type of environment. So I thought this would be right up your alley, Kayla. Like with your what's the book series that you've been checking out
Right now?
The fantasy one with the Shattered Earth.
Broken Earth? The Broken Earth series?
Broken Earth, yeah. This really gave me
season.
vibes of that. I know it's got a huge following. Have any of you checked out like the trailer or anything like that?
So
I watched
Russian-
the trailer, yeah.
you're trying to say it's Russian Lord of the Rings, Rasputin is Gandalf. That's my expectations for it. Is it?
Yeah, I think that's what they're going for, yeah.
I noticed a couple things in the trailer that stuck out to me. It seems like very Avatar or even Raya lately, where it's girl is the savior and all the, to unite all the people because she can control light or whatever. But there's a part in the trailer where she is dressed just like Garnet from Final Fantasy IX.
Oh, no.
Really? Same colors?
Same. It's
What?
the same
No.
fucking getup.
I gotta see this. Shadow and Bone. Okay. No.
And just to bring it back to our bonus episodes we released. Of our,
Yeah, let's plug it right now. So while we were gone, we released 2 bonus episodes of our deep disc dive into Final Fantasy IX. So check those out. Those are available on all major podcast apps. And they're excessively long. But if you like Final Fantasy IX, or if you like us, check them out.
You only released 2 out of the 4 episodes that you have, correct?
Oh yeah, giving people time to
soak it all in.
Absorb those.
2 secret ones coming.
Yeah, 2 more coming right at you.
You're not
But
lying.
after Shadow and Bone.
Right.
You're not lying. It's literally the same exact
It is.
outfit as Garnet. Wow.
And,
Wait, steal IP, Russia. Holy shit.
At the end of the trailer, she
Maybe
does
it's a nod.
she does this big move, and it looks just like Luminaire from the move from Chrono Trigger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Square Enix.
Yeah.
Get on it.
I know.
Get those
it's
lawyers.
crazy. Russia or wherever is just doesn't care, man.
You sold me. I'll watch it. It sounds cool.
It sounds like it could be a lot of fun. It already has a built-in kind of fan base. The novels are very the series is kind of very popular. So it's got a chance to do really well, I think, in that space. But on that same day now, because it was pushed back a week, we also get, so this is April 23rd, we get Mortal Kombat on HBO Max and in theaters. I think it's safe to say this is one of our most anticipated movies by far on the whole team, right? Everyone's pretty pumped about Mortal Kombat.
I'm excited. Yeah. That's
You've
the
asked
one.
me this is what. Yes,
That's the one with Joaquin Phoenix as Scorpion, right?
Yeah,
No.
yeah. It's no.
Regis Alba as Jax? No, it's not the same arc Mortal Kombat.
No, that sounds terrible. No, this you've checked out the trailer, right, Ryan?
Yeah, I've seen it. It looks fantastic. I'm real hyped for it. Looks really good.
Yeah,
Have they said why they pushed it back a week?
The article I read said that they want to give Kong and Godzilla time to breathe. So
that makes sense.
Yeah,
Because they just announced today that Venom 2 got pushed back a week.
Oh, wow.
In September. So I was wondering, maybe they're trying to dodge something as well that's coming out around then, or there's got to be.
I bet. Yeah, I'd have to look at the release calendar, but everything's been shifting so much that is Cruella in that same area now? I think maybe.
A lot dropping.
Forgetting about that.
Yeah.
May, right?
It was pushed. I don't remember when they pushed it to, but yeah, I mean it's all just so fluid right now, everything. So
Let's bring it back to April.
let's bring it back to April. Right.
Just a couple more things.
Yeah,
No.
both on the same day, April 30th. I'll hit Returnal first. PS5 exclusive, kind of the first big release that is going to be PS5 exclusive. Now still in the launch window. We've seen some kind of extended footage now in the trailer, the state of play that we saw of Returnal. This is a third-person action sci-fi game with some kind of mechanic where you're going back in time. You're dying and repeating in some way, shape, or form. What I don't think I've gotten a chance to really ask you, Ryan, how you feel about this. Have you checked out any of the trailers?
God, I would love to try any of these games on PS5 if I owned a PS5. I think you'll have to go to our resident PS5 owner, Aaron, with this. This
Just all show up at his house.
Yeah,
But no,
Aaron,
it looks great. It looks fun. I wasn't too hyped when I saw for E3. I think it was.
Yeah, maybe.
When it got announced in June.
Yeah. No, it's it's on my radar. I'll definitely probably purchase it and check it out when I get a PS5. But until then, yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how it does as the first kind of PS5. I mean, you had Demon Souls and you had Astro Bot Rescue Mission or whatever, but this is kind of the first in that launch window that they're coming out with that's PS5 exclusive.
Yeah.
Demon Souls did great from what I saw. Had a pretty good release, and I watched a lot of gameplay and that and looked amazing.
The fact that this is new IP too is important. Exactly. Could turn into a franchise or something.
Housemarque is the developer of this. They've kind of only done smaller kind of arcade style type games. Resogun was a PS4 launch title. It was the best game at launch for PS4 for a while. And it was basically like Defender. It was like a side-scrolling space shooter kind of thing. So this is their first big budget AAA thing. It's going to be $70. It's a lot of procedurally generated stuff. It's a loop. You're like Eric said, you're going through runs basically, reliving your past or something like that. And then there's also this spooky dooky element to it that looks very PT kind of ish.
Yeah, kind of right? Kind of.
She arrives at a house on this weird alien planet that she recognizes and walks in, and it's a hallway that looks very, very PT. I don't know. I would have, if I had a PS5, which I do not, it would have to be rave reviews for this for me to check it out.
How about you, Kayla? I don't think I've asked you. I know we watched the state of play and stuff and some of the footage, but what's your level of excitement on Returnal?
Definitely not something that I want to play personally. Not super interested in watching you play it either. It just doesn't really grab me. Just, again, with the list of games that I have that I want to play, I mean, we just got a Switch and we got a PC, so there's lots of games that I want to play way over that.
Yeah, it's kind of stacked a little bit.
Too much.
With a lot of
games
stuff.
Games are coming out now. Yeah, a lot of stuff.
And not least amongst those games is new Pokemon Snap for the Switch, obviously. Also on April 30th. So hype level's still the same then, Mike, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Day one purchase. I can't wait. If you listen to the Metapod episode, you'll know my love of the original Pokemon Snap and Pokemon in general, and really excited for it. It looks so pretty. Looks so cool.
Yeah, we didn't get you on the Pokemon episode, Ryan, but I don't remember. I know you and I played quite a bit of N64, but I hated Pokemon Snap, with a capital H. I don't remember what your feelings were on Pokemon.
It was a love-hate thing. I loved it because how stupid it was. You're just a photographer going around throwing balls at people, fucking taking photos. It's cool, I guess, but I just don't know where they're going to take it for this new...
Pokemon Snap is the best N64 game by a mile. I will say that.
Oh man, that's a
strange close to it.
If anyone else listening out there, please, I want to hear your opinions about Pokemon Snap. Really want to know how you feel about it. But no,
they all love it.
I didn't like it. You're just abusing Pokemon and taking photos of it. That's all you're doing.
Oh yeah, because fighting them is much more tame than taking unsolicited photographs in natural habitat. Yeah, totally.
Hey man,
totally not cool.
So yeah, Pokemon Snap. We'll see how that goes. I know I'm interested to see with how much that Mike, Tomas, and Josh love the original. When they all get to play it, I will be excited for them.
Listen. Once Pokemon Snap gets that Post Malone DLC, then I'll jump on the train. But until then,
it'll have it.
like Pokemon Snapbacks or something.
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
that's a Post Malone guy. So that's everything coming up in April in the world of media. Literally everything. We touched every single thing that's coming out. Nothing else is coming out that matters. But I also want to talk about what's coming up on the pod for the month of April. We actually have a lot of stuff that we're scheduling. The soonest of which we'll be recording this Saturday, and that will hit on Monday the 5th. We're doing another game episode. I don't want to spoil it too much, but if you like the Newlywed Game, you might like this pod. So I won't spoil it more than that, but if you like any of our games that we played, Bomb or anything like that, any of our drafts, it's going to be another similar thing to that. So check that out. That'll be hitting Monday the 5th. We're going to have an Oscar predictions show. I think we're going to do that literally the day. We're going to record the day before the Oscars, which are the 25th of April. So we'll probably record that.
Oh, no, that doesn't seem like a good idea.
Well, I think what we're going to do is I'll release it. I'll release it ahead of time. I think that's what we're going to do. Suffice to say,
find out our predictions after they happen.
Suffice to say. No, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to release it right at 8 o'clock. Is that what
with the Oscars?
Yeah, I want people to listen to our pod over the Oscars. Who cares about the actual Oscars? Our prediction show. That's what matters. So we're going to have a special guest on that one, Michael Nelson. And it's not going to be Michael Nelson, but
I want to be on it. I want to be
No, you don't get to. You have to tell me what Minari was about.
But I've seen Minari. I've seen it.
Oh. We also have in the pipe another game. We're going to play a categories type game, but of course in our genres. We're going to play along with some movies, video games, and TV stuff in a categories format. That's coming up, and because we're all so hyped for it, we're going to do a Mortal Kombat spoiler cast as well. So we've got a lot coming up in April, so hopefully you guys stick around and check it out. Before we wrap up, I want to apologize. We had someone voice their opinion. A Mr. Jim Halpert called in to our voice chat line, and he had something to say about our draft of 2012? Our 2012 draft?
2013
draft, yeah. We've done so many of these that they just all, go together. So Mr. Jim Halpert had some things to say about a little ribbing we did to one of the games, so here it is.
Hello, this is Jim. Just want to say I just finished your 2013 draft. You say machine of nonsense, I say machine of bullshit. How dare you disrespect Let's Fish Just Hooked. That game is perfection. 10 out of 10, I tell you. You just lost me as a fan and my whole clan of fishing fanatics. Down with this podcast. Up with Aaron. Long live Aaron. Good pick, brother.
So, from the bottom of our hearts, Jim, Let's Fish hooked on, right? I think that's...
Let's Fish get hooked.
Get hooked. We apologize for shaming that game, and we hope that you and your entire clan of fishing fanatics will resubscribe and interact with all our social media. Please.
That's why we have multiple casts, so we have people with different opinions. Aaron obviously thought it was good.
Jim, if you ever want to come on here yourself, you coward.
Oh, man.
Instead of sending voicemails, bring it, because I'm the draft champ. All right? So
I feel like we're recording a wrestling promo right now. What's going on?
on you, Jim.
Listen, brother, Jim.
So in a normal situation, Let's Fish Hooked On has a 33% chance of being a good game. Oh boy. Yeah. We did that.
Nightmare.
We did that. So
We're looking forward to April.
yeah, I think suffice it to say, we are looking forward to April. We're gonna have lots of fun creating more shows for you guys and watching, playing all this stuff.
Yeah, vaccinations in the air, movies in the air, games.
Oh man, let's all just get
Do it.
just poked. Let's poke each other. Let's do it. So as always, we ask you to please subscribe to the pod. Please interact and share and like our social media. Respond to our calls for your content. Please leave us a voice message at anchor.fm/machine of nonsense, and you can be on future pod just like Jim. Hey, maybe you don't like us, be just like Jim. So, for Michael Nelson, for Brian Bukowski, and for Kayla Fisher, this is Eric Fisher. This has been Machine of Nonsense. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.